of Rafah is the latest preoccupation of the international community and international organizations. Its gravity is due to the latest plan by Israel to launch a large-scale military operation of a civilian population of 1.4 million people, stunned and buffeted. A Gaza Strip that had devastated for a long time. And paraphrasing Cato the Elder, obsessed by Carthage, whose leitmotif was the term Carthago delenda, as we can say today that Gaza destructum est. On annexation. Annexation is the second corollary of prolonged occupation, the first being colonization. The legal consequences stemming from the dramatic developments of prolonged occupation raises the question of the development of the latter. It's not a new question. It is evoked, sometimes suggested, sometimes frankly considered after every war, notably by Israel. But over and above that, the situation of prolonged occupation since 1967 imposes it inevitably in the debate. In its resolution of the UN, the General Assembly expressly referred to the impact of Israeli policies and practices on the legal status of occupation. Regarding the court's jurisprudence, Algeria would recall that in its advisory opinion of 1950 on the international status of Southwest Africa, and as I quote, where it was expressing itself generally on the mandates, and I quote the court had underscored that two principles was deemed as of paramount importance, and I quote, that of non-annexation, paragraph 131 of that opinion. Algeria recalls next the paragraph 121 of the opinion on the 2004 war. The court felt that the construction of the wall and the regime associated thereto creates on the ground a fait accompli in inverted commas, creates on the ground a fait accompli that might well become permanent, in which case, and notwithstanding the official description that Israel gives of the wall, the construction of this wall would be tantamount to de facto annexation. In end of quote. In this excerpt, the court considers, first of all, that the construction of the wall and its legal regime are fait accomplis. It then refers to the possibility of their permanency. And it concludes by using the conditional that the permanence would transform the occupation regime into de facto annexation. In other words, it's the permanence that conditions the passage from occupation to de facto annexation. So inevitably, this refers to the question of the duration, and we know, as we saw earlier, international law of occupation remains silent. The